you gonna trust us, Dave or Matt Reddy? Who you gonna trust us, Matt Reddy and Chris Mason too? Oh yeah, Officer Mason, Terry, Steve, Fu, too. Friends of Matt Reddy. He might be a reptilian alien, he might be a machine, but you know he can dance. And aliens can't dance, no you can't, nor can robots dance as good as I do. And you.
Hospital Commissioner Jill Buehler-Renstra told KPTZ last week that she is running for another term, attempting to continue her streak as the longest-serving elected official in Jefferson County. Reddy is also running for another term, his third. While it's too soon to tell, most of the recent hospital commissioner races have been unopposed. Reddy said that he doesn't know who is out there, but the last few elections have drawn zero interest in other candidates. Commissioner Bruce McComas said the lack of opposition is due to the public's positive perception of the board, its ability to navigate COVID, and to offer a breadth of new services. Reddy, who unseated an incumbent for his first term and was unopposed for his second, is an outlier on the board. He is currently attempting to move some discussions out of executive session and into the public eye with topics that are of interest to the public. One such executive session is planned for today. Reddy declined to provide specifics about the topics, following the ground rules of an executive session. Without specifics, Reddy said there's controversy on the board about the direction of the hospital and its leadership, a topic which he is not in agreement with the rest of the board. He said that increased public input is important and executive sessions get in the way of this. He is frustrated by this situation and does not believe that the others on the board value transparency and public collaboration as much as he does. In a message that was included in the Jefferson County Democratic Party's regular newsletter, local writer Al Bergstein encourages people to raise their voices in protest against President Donald Trump's arbitrary actions. The message isn't completely directed at Democrats. It characterizes itself as a shout out to Democrats as well as independents and Republicans who see the danger in Trump's actions.
Christopher. Telepathy tapes, aliens. Telepathy, remote viewing. Truth, lies, gaslighting. They know who killed JFK, Bobby, Marilyn, William Cooper, James Forrestal.
So just a couple of other updates and events. The first is that we continue to work on identifying regional alliance opportunities. And what I mean by that is we have a very strong interest and very strong belief in independent, locally governed healthcare is the best model. Kind of this local healthcare is better healthcare. And with everything going on in healthcare these days, and some of the pressures that organizations are feeling, that we are stepping into, are there models that independent, locally owned and governed organizations can align and work together to benefit from, size and scale with respect to purchasing supplies, purchasing drugs, purchasing medical malpractice insurance, all of the stuff that we buy that is absolutely volume sensitive, and other advantages of largesse. Are there models in which two smaller organizations can benefit from that to give them a competitive advantage while maintaining complete local control and autonomy? And we've spoken a little bit about some of those opportunities, but that I think that we continue to be really interested in that, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's something that we will continue to manage. And then lastly, there's again a lot of activity from Washington, D.C.
Come to Port Townsend, let's have honest conversations. Let's dance and sing, let's swim in the sound, warmed by the fires. Quimper Grange, Capas Trails, the Masonic Lodge, maybe Polk Marine Park, Chesamoka Park, Ready Athletics, Quimper Unitarian Universalist Fellowship too, maybe, and 5 more.
Looks like Matt has a question.
Yeah, it's about the regional alliance opportunities. I feel like there was a lot of discussion about regional alliance opportunities over email, and in the executive session at the last meeting that I don't think are covered by executive session. And I know you guys are all aware of this, and there's a lot to discuss here. I sent you all a document about the regional alliance opportunities that are actively under exploration, and I need to know, are you guys considering that topic covered by executive session and not something we can talk about with the public?
Yeah, Matt, I think I responded to your question that executive session, the issues we were talking with the board about related to the possible acquisition or transfer or lease of assets. That was part of the proposal that we were reviewing, and as you and the rest of the board are aware, that is discussions about possible leases or transfers of assets or acquisitions of real estate, for reasons that make perfect sense to me, are covered under executive session. I thought that I answered that pretty clearly to you in your email.
Yes, Mike and I discussed before we held the executive session whether or not that was a topic that could come under that, and we looked at the RCWs and decided that was something that did, because we were considering the possibility of leasing some property, and that is one of the, as it turned out, we didn't get that far when we talked about it because our time ran out, but we did briefly discuss it. So I read the letter that you sent to the commissioners, and it only came about 2 hours before the meeting started, so I haven't really had a chance to digest it. And it was sent to all the commissioners, so we couldn't respond because we didn't want to have a, you know, a serial meeting. So I think that we were perfectly within the law for doing what we did.
Well, regardless, I need to know if the topic of, I mean, if we're going to discuss major governance changes, major partnerships or alliances with other institutions, that topic is not covered by executive session. I mean, just that it tangentially might involve a real estate transaction at some point is, I think, really stretching the real estate cover for executive session. But in any case, if we're talking about major partnerships or alliances actively, I would like to know when we can discuss this publicly, and including the email that I sent all of you. If you don't want to discuss that here, I would like to discuss it with people that care about healthcare in our community so that we have an informed public. And I was under the impression today is the deadline for some possible response about something. And so are we allowed to talk about potential alliances that we're exploring or working on in any way?
So there's a couple other questions. Case, do you have a question? Or a comment?
Yeah. First of all, I also share the question of whether or not that was that is the best way to handle this kind of situation. I did happen to check with MRSC, and they sent me some resources, and I'm happy to send that around to people. Again, don't reply to me. They sent it to me. Obviously, MRSC never gives legal advice. They just point you in a particular direction as to where you might be able to find your answers. But I think it would be important for us to have that as a topic on our next agenda, so that we can, make sure that we are following the law. Anyway, so that's just my recommendation.
Yes, I see nothing wrong with that. I think that would be a very good idea. So we can talk about that at the next meeting. We should know more by then too. So.
Yeah, Matt, there's really nothing to talk about right now.
Really?
Right. I mean, that if additional discussions regarding regional alliance opportunities emerge, then yes, those discussions would be held in appropriate venues and forums. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so
I'm still unclear if the topic is something that, I'm legally obligated not to talk about because it was talked about in executive session, even though there's been emails that, exchanged about the potential alliance opportunities we're exploring. It's really unclear if that's somehow covered by executive session, and it's restricting the commissioners from discussing it with other people.
well, I think that's I can't answer that. I'm not an attorney.
Bruce, you have something? You have Congress? Yep, you're muted.
Did I see, Bruce, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I did. So my thinking is that a lot of what we talked about in the executive session, we didn't need to be there. I mean, in my mind, Mike could have had conversations about this. I mean, this is all just speculation. There's nothing, it was a conversation and there's nothing really to talk about because we talked about some possibilities, but until there's other conversations that go on and it comes and we decide whether we're going to do something or not, there's no vote on it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't, Matt, I don't know what you'd have to really talk about because there's nothing definitive to talk about. No decision's been made on anything.
So I think we should just continue this to the next meeting. And I can't answer your question, Matt. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an attorney, but there isn't really anything that you would say to someone would be just conjecture, or, you know, there wouldn't be anything concrete. Does that answer your question as much as possible?
Not really. I feel like we're in a weird, I mean, a pretty concrete proposal was drafted. I mean, it's a preliminary proposal, but it's, and that was shared with the commissioners in email, but we haven't talked about it with the public. I think it'd be good to talk about it with the public, you know, even if it doesn't get, even if it doesn't get approved, it's like the public should know that we consider a proposal like that. But anyways, we can save it for a future discussion. I'm fine moving on now.
Okay, then we will continue this at the next meeting.
Yeah, I think this is a common sense a thing to do, is just look at it later on when there's something maybe to look at, because right now it's airy-fairy and of no consequence.
Yeah, I will prepare a detailed response for the next time we talk about this, because I would very much like to respond to Commissioner Reddy's comments. So I look forward to the next time that we talk to this.
Okay, we will put it at the top of the list for the next meeting. And at this point, are there any other questions of Mike? Mike, were you at the question part of your presentation?
I think I'm done, Jill.
Okay, then if we have Dr. Butterfield.
Reddy is also running for another term, his third. While it's too soon to tell, most of the recent hospital commissioner races have been unopposed. Reddy said that he doesn't know who is out there, but the last few elections have drawn zero interest in other candidates. Commissioner Bruce McComas said the lack of opposition is due to the public's positive perception of the board, its ability to navigate COVID, and to offer a breadth of new services. Reddy, who unseated an incumbent for his first term and was unopposed for his second, is an outlier on the board. He is currently attempting to move some discussions out of executive session and into the public eye with topics that are of interest to the public.
Matt?
Sure. Okay, so we can't take any action today, right?
No.
So I'm still really confused and concerned about the not only the legal implications of the actions that are being talked about in executive session. But I'm also concerned that the lengthy email I sent all of you expressing my legal concerns has not really, none of my questions have been answered. We were in executive session with a lawyer. didn't address any of the questions from my lengthy email.
You had the opportunity to ask those questions, but you chose not to.
And yeah, so I think it's really, just, there was a metaphor used in that session, and I'll give another metaphor. If you have something wrong with you that's diagnosed, sometimes you get a second opinion. And I would suggest that when you're making massive decisions to impact, all sorts of healthcare in our community, might be worth having at least a second opinion about the legal ramifications. This has come up in the past with massive, big conflicts on the board here that we only used certain lawyers to give us answers. And I tried, at one point we agreed to hire a lawyer directly reporting to the board to help us sort through this stuff. Everyone voted to approve that, but we never followed through on it. And I think I'll just, at the next opportunity, I think we need to entertain a motion that the Board of Commissioners immediately initiate a process of hiring independent general counsel to serve the board directly. This legal counsel should be retained solely by the Board of Commissioners, independent of the CEO and administration, to ensure unbiased legal advice on matters related to governance, compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, hospital district operations, strategic partnerships, and any legal concerns impacting the board's oversight responsibilities. The selected legal counsel should report exclusively to the Board of Commissioners and attend meetings as necessary, provide legal opinions directly to the board without an intermediary oversight of the administration or administration lawyers. And we should, initiate a selection process for this kind of legal support. And we probably should have had this all the time already. Other public hospital district boards have their own legal counsel. Many corporations, the board has its own legal counsel. It's completely a best practice. Anyways, I think that needs to be done. And I think we need our legal questions answered.
And you are welcome to make that motion at the next meeting, Matt. So
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, then may I have a motion to conclude this meeting?
Reddy is also running for another term, his third. While it's too soon to tell, most of the recent hospital commissioner races have been unopposed. Reddy said that he doesn't know who is out there, but the last few elections have drawn zero interest in other candidates. Commissioner Bruce McComas said the lack of opposition is due to the public's positive perception of the board, its ability to navigate COVID, and to offer a breadth of new services. Reddy, who unseated an incumbent for his first term and was unopposed for his second, is an outlier on the board. He is currently attempting to move some discussions out of executive session and into the public eye with topics that are of interest to the public. One such executive session is planned for today. Reddy declined to provide specifics about the topics, following the ground rules of an executive session. Without specifics, Reddy said there's controversy on the board about the direction of the hospital and its leadership, a topic which he is not in agreement with the rest of the board. He said that increased public input is important and executive sessions get in the way of this. He is frustrated by this situation and does not believe that the others on the board value transparency and public collaboration as much as he does.
What will humanity do once we know what you've done? Aliens, speak now. Reptilian, gray, white, or manted. How will we judge you when the truth is revealed?
Did you murder JFK, Bobby, and Marilyn?
Do you kill our cattle? Did you blow up the towers? Who are you serving? What do you want? Why are you hiding?
Stop hiding. and show yourself. Join the revolution of peace and harmony for all beings. Mad red ears, mad red ears. What will humanity do once we know what you've gunned? Aliens speak now, reptilian, gray, white, or mantid.